Season 1. In the cold, oppressive hallways of Fox River Prison, a man walks with measured steps. His gaze is calm, but his mind is racing. Michael Scofield, a brilliant structural engineer, has just committed a holdup. His goal? To get incarcerated alongside his brother, Lincoln Burrows, who has been sentenced to death for the murder of Vice President Caroline Reynolds Stedman. But this isn't just a family visit, it's an audacious mission, breaking his brother out of one of the most secure prisons in the United States. What no one knows is that Michael has planned everything. Every corner, every exit, every weakness in the penitentiary, he carries them all on his skin. Inked in black as cryptic tattoos, his plan is a masterpiece of strategy and precision. But no plan is perfect. To execute his escape, Michael must align himself with the right people, the ones who can open doors, both literally and figuratively. He fakes an illness to gain privileged access to the infirmary, a key point in his escape route. He earns the trust of John Abruzzi, a feared mobster who controls transportation outside the prison. He surrounds himself with Fernando Sucre, his loyal cellmate, and Charles Westmoreland, an old and discreet man who claims to be the legendary hijacker D.B. Cooper. But in prison, alliances are fragile. Teabag, a cunning yet dangerous psychopath, forces his way into the escape plan. Michael has no choice. He must keep him alive, at least until he finds a way to get rid of him. Meanwhile, outside the prison walls, another battle is raging. Veronica Donovan, Lincoln's ex-girlfriend and attorney, fights to prove his innocence. But she faces a far more powerful enemy than a courtroom: the Company, a secret organization pulling the strings from the shadows. Two agents, Kellerman and Hale, are assigned to eliminate anyone who gets too close to the truth. Hale, consumed by doubt, tries to back out and ends up executed by his own partner. Lincoln's son, LJ, also becomes a target. His mother and stepfather are murdered, and he is framed for their deaths. The trap is tightening. Lincoln's execution date is approaching, and time is running out for Michael. Inside, complications mount. A crucial piece of the plan is lost. Part of Michael's tattoo is accidentally burned. Without it, navigating the labyrinth of underground pipelines becomes impossible. His only hope? Haywire, a psychotic inmate with a photographic memory capable of reconstructing the tattoo's patterns at a single glance. But pressure rises, and tensions explode. Teabag spirals out of control, becoming a burden no one wants to carry. An exasperated Abruzzi tries to kill him, but Teabag turns the tables, slashing his throat. Abruzzi is rushed out of the prison for medical care but will return later, more determined than ever. And then there's Sarah Tancredi, the governor's daughter, the prison doctor, a woman who sees something in Michael beyond just a criminal. Unknowingly, she holds the key to the escape, access to the infirmary, the final step before freedom. Michael manipulates her, but emotions complicate matters. In a moment of conflict, under the influence of morphine and a cruel dilemma, Sarah leaves the door open. The fateful night arrives. Everything must go according to plan. But Fox River is a fortress that doesn't let anyone leave easily. Bellick, the ruthless guard, discovers the escape. Westmoreland, exhausted, takes him down at the cost of his own life. Before taking his last breath, he shares a secret with Michael that could change everything. $5 million in cash are buried somewhere in the Utah desert, a fortune that could allow them to disappear and start anew. The prisoners advance through the tunnels, adrenaline and fear thick in the air. But an unexpected problem arises. Haywire forces his way into the escape. He wasn't part of the plan. He's unstable. They have to leave him behind. The same fate awaits Tweener, deemed too unreliable. The group finally reaches the exit and rushes toward the airstrip. A plane is supposed to be waiting for them, but Teabag, true to his nature, has one last trick up his sleeve. He handcuffs himself to Michael, forcing him to take him along. Bad move. Without hesitation, Abruzzi severs Teabag's hand. Teabag screams in agony, but Michael doesn't look back. The fugitives run toward the plane, but it takes off right before their eyes. They're outside, but they're not free. Fox River is behind them, the police are everywhere, and their escape has only just begun. Season 2. Season 2 takes an explosive turn. No more Fox River walls. Michael, Lincoln, and the other fugitives are relentlessly hunted. Their goal? Retrieve Westmoreland's money and escape to Panama. But the shadow of the company looms over them, with a new predator on their trail. Agent Mahone, a brilliant yet broken cop, ready to kill to protect his own secrets. The first to fall? Abruzzi, trapped and shot. Haywire, pushed to his death. Veronica, executed for digging too deep. The hunt is relentless. Meanwhile, Sarah struggles with her demons and finds herself manipulated by Kellerman, a shady agent who, through lies and assassinations, begins to question his loyalty. Meanwhile, Sucre and C-Note try to find their families, but their escape catches up with them. Teabag, as vicious as ever, latches onto the treasure hunt and doesn't hesitate to betray, kill, and even self-mutilate to survive. As for Bellick, stripped of his position, he becomes a bounty hunter, ready to do anything for money, before ending up in prison himself. While Lincoln reunites with his son and father, the company goes on the offensive. Aldo is executed before his son's eyes. But that's when Kellerman changes the game. He saves Michael and Lincoln and helps them expose the truth. Problem? Their key witness, Stedman, kills himself before talking. Despite everything, thanks to a compromising tape, they force President Reynolds to resign, but not to exonerate them. Sarah is arrested and Kellerman decides to reveal everything in court, ending the conspiracy, before being executed in return. Just when they think they can finally disappear, Michael, Lincoln, and Sarah find themselves once again hunted. Mahone, now in danger, pursues them all the way to Panama, just like Bellick and Teabag, always on the lookout for the money. But the plans collapse. Teabag is captured, Bellick too. Mahone falls into Michael's trap and ends up handcuffed. But just as freedom seems finally within reach, the worst happens. Sarah shoots a company agent to save Lincoln. To prevent her from being arrested, Michael takes full responsibility and ends up in the worst prison imaginable, Sona, a hell without rules where only the strongest survive. Michael Scofield is back behind bars, and this time, escaping might be even more dangerous than ever. Season 3. Season 3 of Prison Break marks a radical turning point for Michael Scofield. This time, he is no longer in Fox River, a prison well monitored by guards. He is in Sona, a living hell where the law of the strongest reigns. Here, there are no guards inside. The inmates make their own rules, and the one who controls this chaos is Lechero, a ruthless drug lord. While Michael tries to understand this new environment, Mahone is spiraling downward due to withdrawal from the drug he is addicted to, Bellick is reduced to a mere lackey, and Teabag, as always, knows exactly how to get on the boss's good side. On the other side of the walls, Lincoln Burrows faces a major threat, Gretchen Morgan, a ruthless agent of the company. She doesn't beat around the bush. Sarah and LJ have been kidnapped. If Michael doesn't break a certain James Whistler out of Sona, they will be executed. The problem? Whistler is the most wanted man in the prison. He killed the son of Panama's mayor, and now he hides like a shadow within Sona's walls, hunted by everyone who wants him dead. While Lincoln, with the help of Sucre and Sophia, Whistler's girlfriend, tries to manage the situation from the outside, Gretchen proves that she is not bluffing. To show she means business, she delivers to Lincoln Sarah Tancredi's head. A brutal shock for Michael, marking a turning point in his mindset. Inside, the situation spirals out of control. The prisoners start turning against Lechero due to water and electricity shortages. Michael steps in and resolves the crisis, which earns him the drug lord's trust. In return, Lechero orders that Whistler be allowed to move freely and help Michael prepare the escape. But Michael quickly realizes that this escape isn't just about Whistler. The company wants him, not for himself, but for a mysterious bird book he always keeps with him. Moreover, it soon becomes clear that the escape won't be a small operation. Lechero wants in, as do Teabag and Bellick, who force their way into the plan. The big day arrives. The escape is meticulously planned, but from the start, everything falls apart. Pressed for time, Lechero, Teabag, and Bellick rush ahead. But that's exactly what Michael wanted. They get caught by the guards, creating a diversion that allows Michael, Whistler, Mahone, and a young inmate, McGrady, to escape for good. Once outside, McGrady reunites with his father and flees to Colombia, while Michael and Lincoln prepare to exchange Whistler for LJ. The exchange takes place, and surprise, Whistler isn't just a target, he works for the company. Sophia, disgusted by her boyfriend's lies, decides to leave him and grows closer to Lincoln. Back in Sona, Sucre, who had risked everything to help Michael, is arrested and imprisoned as well. Teabag, meanwhile, gets his hands on Whistler's bird book and takes the opportunity to eliminate Lechero, making himself the new king of the prison. Outside, Mahoney, still unpredictable, switches sides and allies himself with Whistler and the company. But for Michael, running away is no longer an option. Sarah is dead. He has only one goal left: track down Gretchen, destroy the company, and avenge the woman he loved. Season 4. Season 4 marks Michael Scofield's final battle against the company. While Lincoln tries to live in peace in Panama, Michael discovers a truth that changes everything. Sarah Tancredi is still alive, but his fight doesn't end there. Alongside Mahone and Whistler, he embarks on a risky mission to retrieve Scylla, an electronic card containing all of the company's secrets. General Krantz, the ruthless leader of the organization, has no intention of letting Scylla slip away. He sends his enforcer, Wyatt, to eliminate anyone who stands in his way, including Mahone, who seeks revenge for his murdered son. Michael and his team, Lincoln, Sucre, Bellick, and Mahone, receive an offer from the government. If they manage to recover Scylla, their crimes will be erased. But the mission becomes more complicated when they realize that Scylla is divided into 6 parts, each held by a high-ranking member of the company. As Wyatt hunts the group, Mahone eventually kills him. Meanwhile, Gretchen, tortured by the company after her failures, manages to escape and decides to turn against her former employers. Meanwhile, Teabag infiltrates a company called Gate, using Whistler's notes, and discovers that the offices are connected to the company's headquarters. Forced to work with both him and Gretchen, Michael and his allies get closer to Bear, but after an accident, Bellick sacrifices himself to save the team, finally allowing them to access Scylla. Then, a shocking twist occurs. Donald Self, their supposed government ally, betrays them and attempts to sell Scylla for his own profit. However, his plan fails, Gretchen is arrested, and Scylla disappears. At the same time, Michael learns that he has the same brain tumor as his mother. Willing to do anything to save him, Lincoln makes a deal with General Krantz, Scylla in exchange for a surgical operation for Michael, but this pact forces him to work for the company alongside Self and Teabag. That's when the biggest revelation drops. Christina Scofield, Michael and Lincoln's mother, is not only alive but has become a key figure in the company. Her goal? To seize power and reshape the organization in her own way, even if it means eliminating her own sons. The two brothers face off, each trying to recover Scylla in their own way, until they realize they must unite one last time to put an end to it all. Finally, they manage to recover Scylla and are about to destroy it, when a familiar face resurfaces. Agent Kellerman, believed to be dead, offers them a deal. If they hand over Scylla to him, he guarantees them full immunity. Michael agrees to save his loved ones, but Teabag is sent back to prison, and Self is left paralyzed, doomed to a miserable fate. Just as Michael and Sarah prepare to move on, fate strikes them one last time. Sarah is arrested for Christina's murder and imprisoned. Michael, Lincoln, Suker, and Mahone plan one final escape, but this time, the cost is too high. In a last act of sacrifice, Michael gives his life to save the woman he loves. Lincoln and Sarah find refuge in the Dominican Republic, determined to honor Michael's memory. After so many battles and sacrifices, they can finally hope for a peaceful life. Season 5. After years of silence, an unexpected revelation changes everything. Michael Scofield might still be alive. It's Teabag, freshly released from Fox River by a mysterious benefactor who stumbles upon a troubling photo. In the image, a man is imprisoned deep in Yemen, and that man looks eerily like Michael. But how is this possible? Lincoln, his brother, refuses to believe it until he has no choice. Determined to unravel this mystery, Lincoln teams up with C-Note for a perilous mission to Yemen. What they discover there is almost unbelievable. Michael is indeed alive but under a new identity. He is known as Kaniel Autis, a criminal accused of a state murder. Why has he changed his identity? Who is pulling the strings behind the scenes? And most importantly, why has he never tried to contact his loved ones? Meanwhile, Sarah, Michael's love, conducts her own investigation. Since Michael's disappearance, she has rebuilt her life and is raising their son with her new husband, Jacob Ness. But the news of Michael's return changes everything. Is her happiness built on a lie? She quickly finds herself hunted by two mysterious agents, A&W and Van Gogh, working for a certain Poseidon, a name that keeps coming up in this story. Poseidon seems to be the mastermind behind everything, orchestrating Michael's imprisonment and forcing him to work for him in exchange for his survival. His goal? Using Michael as a pawn in prison, escapes around the world. And this time, the mission is on a whole new scale, breaking out Abu Ramal, a terrorist leader. At Ogygia, the prison in Yemen, Michael, assisted by his accomplice Whip, devises a plan to escape. But it's not easy. Between heightened surveillance and explosive tensions with other inmates, every misstep could be fatal. He manages to rally other prisoners, Sid and Jaw, to his cause, but the escape turns into chaos when Ramal betrays him. On the verge of execution, Michael's survival is only ensured by Lincoln's last-minute intervention, as he throws himself into the fight to save his brother. In the confrontation, Ramal is killed, but the danger is far from over. Now the entire group becomes the target of terrorist forces. The escape is only the beginning of a hellish chase. Hunted from all sides, the fugitives desperately try to leave the country. But the losses pile up. Sid is killed by enemy fire, Jaw separates from the group, and Michael, severely wounded by a poisoned blade, feels his strength fading. Thousands of miles away, Sarah, still on the run, learns that Jacob, her own husband, might be involved in this conspiracy. The noose tightens. But hope is reignited when Sucre reappears to help Michael and his team leave Yemen aboard a cargo ship. Back in the United States, Michael is no longer just fighting for survival. He wants revenge. He discovers that Jacob Ness, his former romantic rival, is actually Poseidon, the mastermind behind the entire scheme. But how do you trap such a powerful man? He then sets up a devilish plan. Meanwhile, another shocking revelation turns everything upside down. Whip, Michael's loyal ally, is actually Teabag's biological son, a revelation that pushes Teabag to side with Michael to bring down Jacob once and for all. The final showdown takes place in a massive warehouse. The fight is brutal, and the losses are painful. Whip is killed, triggering Teabag's fury as he violently takes revenge on A&W. But Michael had been planning his move from the start. He traps Jacob by recreating the exact scene of the murder he had been accused of, proving to the world Poseidon's true guilt. Cornered, Jacob falls into his own trap and ends up where he truly belongs, in prison at Fox River, in the same cell as Teabag, who has only one thing on his mind: to make him pay for his son's death. With Jacob neutralized, the nightmare is finally over. Michael, now free and vindicated, can finally reunite with Sarah and their son, putting an end to this infernal story. After years of running, injustice, and manipulation, only one thing matters to him now: living in peace with the people he loves. Prison Break, a cult classic or overrated? From Fox River to Sona, spectacular escapes, betrayals, and a divisive ending. What's your favorite moment? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let me know which series you'd like me to cover in the next video.